Brian,
Mark?
aren't you gonna start the podcast?
I'm waiting on you, Mark. You're supposed to write the joke this episode.
Oh, crap.
Not easy,
Uh,
is it, Mark? At least I've remembered to write the jokes for the last 18 episodes. Now our poor listeners won't have anything to pretend to be funny at the start of this episode.
okay. No, 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 no. Okay, I got this. I got this. Two cannibals walk into Dreamforce, and
Nope. Too late. Roll the intro.
God damn.
Welcome to the Wizard News WizardCast.
Whoa, hang on. Cut. Hang on. Why did you say it that way? It sounds weird when you say it that way.
Oh, is something wrong with the microphone? Test? Test?
No, no, no. I mean the way you worded the Wizard News Wizard Cat.
Oh,
What? I don't.
that's how we used to introduce the show.
What? Really?
Yeah, and since we didn't have a joke,
Bite me.
well, I thought we should at least do the intro because, we've forgotten to do it the last few episodes.
If by a few you mean the last 10
Well, we have
or so.
new listeners and they may not know what we're about.
Okay, that's assuming a lot. But all right, okay. Start again.
Welcome to the Wizard News WizardCast. This is the podcast on all things Salesforce, but more importantly, it's a podcast where we sound stupid.
It's educational and entertainment. It's edutainment.
This is our 19th full episode, and it's a very special episode, too.
Okay, do we ever record any episodes where you don't say it's a very special episode?
Mark, every episode is special. It's marketing. You're supposed to be learning this stuff as an evangelist. Come on.
All right, you're not going to do the old 19 episodes without Parker Harris joke, are you?
No. As hilarious as that is, it's near the end of the year, and this is the holiday special episodes. So whether you celebrate Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Festivus, Pancha Ganapati, Hogswash, Winter Solstice, Decemberween, Newtamas, and any others that I missed or mispronounced, happy holidays.
It's a time for lights shining in the darkness, time for family, and for sharing lots and lots of good food.
It's a time for joy, and I hope looking forward to the coming spring.
It's time for children to write letters to Santa Claus.
Yes, it is. So it's appropriate on the WizardCast for us to open the old WizardCast mailbag.
Wait, we have an actual mailbag?
Mailbag, inbox, potato, potato. And no making fun of me about how I pronounce the word bag.
Okay, so what's our first letter?
Dear Yoda Claus, for Salesforcemas, I want to understand what an S-object variables and S-object collections variables are. Thank you. Signed, Abby Admin. Aww, how adorable. Look, Abby drew you a picture of you in Yoda ears with a little Santa hat on.
Abby, it really says Abby Admin. Are you making these up?
Mark, it's probably just a pen name, a pseudonym, a nom de plume, an alias. She probably just didn't want to give her real name.
Right. So, Abby, first, actually, what are we talking about here? We're talking flow. Again, because it's us. S-object variables and S-object collection variables, they are flow variables. They're new ones. They're special kinds that have to do with looping or for working with massive amounts of data. And generally, an S-object variable is, I like to think of it like it's like a CD.
Is that a certificate of deposit?
No.
What's a CD, Mark?
It's what music comes on when you buy it at the
It's
store.
almost 2016, Mark. Oh, the hip people download.
Yeah, but they still sell CDs in this.
Or they stream them on like Pandora or Spotify.
It's like a Blu-ray. There. Are you happy now?
Better, thank you.
Okay. It's like a Blu-ray in that it's one thing that stores multiple pieces of information. In terms of Salesforce, it means one place where you can store multiple fields from the same record. So if I had one opportunity, but I wanted to store more than just the ID of the opportunity, I want to store the owner, I want to store the amount, I want to store the stage, I can store all those in one variable, and that's an S-object variable.
And if you weren't using an S-object variable, each field would have to be its own variable in the flow.
That's just a pain. So why do we want to do that? Actually, it makes perfect sense for other things that we're probably not going to have time to get into here. But as object collection variables are, think of it like, well, I don't know if they have these for Blu-rays, Brian. Think of it like a CD changer. It's a device that we used to have back in the good old days, where you could have multiple CDs put in one place, one machine, and whatever it was, the stereo or whatever was playing the music would actually be able to pull up different things. In terms of Salesforce, it's the place where you can store multiple fields from multiple records in one place, in one variable. So if you think of them like that, like one is a Blu-ray CD, whatever, and another is a place where you store multiple of those Blu-ray
like a
CDs.
YouTube playlist.
I hate you so much right now.
All right.
What can we move on now? What's the
Yes.
question?
All right. Dear Yoda Claus, I've been a good admin this year. Is there anything you can do so my users don't ask me for silly things like a required checkbox? Sign, Abby Norma.
Why is everyone named Abby?
Well, Abby, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to really prevent having your users ask things because they're users. It's what users do. You can do some things to help alleviate that. Good change management's always a good one. Having a system to take in requests and saying that they have to be reviewed by some sort of governance panel within your company, even if it's just you, it can be very good. It's helpful if you have management sign on for that. But having a good governance system and change management system is important regardless if you're getting users asking you for silly things.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's just nothing that can be done to make people think good and use their brains. Wait, did I just say think good? Damn it. I blame you, Brian. This is your influence.
Whatever you need to sleep at night.
Yeah. Looks like we've got one more here in the bag. Dear Yoda Claus, all I want for Christmas is to know the answer to one question. How many beers is Steve Moe owed at this point? Signed, Abby Small. Seriously, what's up with all the Abbeys?
Well, whoever she is, she's probably going to be quite disappointed this year. I'm not quite sure we can even figure out how many beers Steve Moe is owed. For those who don't know, Steve is a great guy who spends a lot of time on the answer section of Salesforce Success Community. And there's a running joke because so many people back in the early days said he owed him a beer for his help. So you know how it is. They just
18,538.
I'm sorry, what?
18,538. That's my calculation.
And how did you arrive at that number? You got to show your work, Mark.
Simple. Steve has, as of right now, 44,621 answers, factoring in an average of 4 answers proposed to the follow-up with clarification, aligning to the 3,260 best answers he has, of course, taking into account the 34.25% margin for help performed at other locations like Dreamforce, take the National Index for Beers Owed, published statistics as of 2012 showing a 15-2 adjustment for beers owed versus received with a 2.6815 degree gradient for sunspots, carry the 2, and voila, 18,538. Simple as that. Numbers don't lie. Sorry, Brian.
That's either wholly amazing or utter bullcrap.
Maybe. I think it's utter bullcrap that Steve Moe can get behind. We've got one other question, actually.
That's right. Just came in through Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter? You mean the mail in our mailbag.
Yes, that's right. Mailbag.
Yeah.
This comes from Adam Olshanki. No, I'm sorry. Adam, for this episode, you're hereby called Abby. Abby Olshanki asks, with Spring 16 enhancements, do you think most orgs should be ready to upgrade to Lightning or at least seriously consider? You know, I think the short answer right now is
tough.
Probably not.
Probably not.
There's in the release notes, they have a good list of information of is Lightning experience for you, for your org. I would definitely go through that.
We should probably point out that the Spring 16 release notes have come out as of couple days ago.
Yes.
Like really.
And there's some cool things that they're doing with the Lightning experience. Custom buttons, as long as they don't have JavaScript, are going to be in there. Opportunity teams are going to be available. I think they're doing some enhancements to the new email template thing that they had in the original release of Lightning experience. But there's a lot not there yet. So it really depends on what does your org do.
So what is missing still? What is missing still?
I think there's a couple of things. One, I don't think forecasting was included in the Spring 16 notes. At least I don't remember seeing it.
It's true.
Other things like your custom objects are all under the app launcher. So if you are a heavily configured Salesforce org that uses a lot of custom objects, for your users to get to those tabs, they have to click the app launcher buttons.
That's a pain.
All tabs, and then the actual object that they want. That's a pain. You can't customize that left menu yet. Until that point, I think, unless you're using the quote out of the box unquote version of Salesforce, it's going to be tough to move. Some people might be able to move within an individual org, like some managers, like maybe C-suite people who really are only using it for reports and dashboard purposes. But I hesitate to do a blanket yes, most orgs. I think most orgs are going to be waiting into, I would say, the summer release when, at least according to the roadmap,
at least.
I think a lot more stuff for Sales Cloud is going to be done. And that doesn't even assume that you're using Service Cloud.
I think it's more likely to be winter. Personally, I think winter 17 is where we're going to actually see like a majority of orgs really being able to. Summer is going to get an additional amount, but I don't think we're there yet. I think certainly there's a large increase, but I know my home org would not be able to, even with just this. There's still a lot left to do.
But it's nice to see that they're making inroads to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I remember at Dreamforce, Parker Harris said something like 70% of developers' resources have been moved to work on Lightning Experience, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I would have to go back and listen to it. But the point is, he pulled from a lot of teams.
Yeah, and I doubt that number will have changed much at this point. There's still a lot of work to do.
So, Mark.
So, Brian.
The holiday season also comes the end of the year. And at the end of the year, people make lists.
Lots of blank something or other of the year. Awards, top 10 lists, yada, 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 yada.
Yep. Admin of the year, that type of stuff. Yep. So WizardCast is no different. So with further ado, here's the list of the top WizardCast episodes in 2015.
Because we're really that shameless. Wait, I don't remember making a list.
Yep. The top 21 episodes of WizardCast are...
Wait, whoa. Hey, Brian, we've only done 19 episodes. Why are you saying 21?
Plus April Fools and our intro.
Okay, I think you don't understand how top lists work. That would be every episode. Why don't we just do predictions for next year instead?
You mean like what do we think is going to happen in 2016?
Yeah, in the Salesforce world, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. My first prediction is Salesforce is going to continue to release sales-oriented product updates for Lightning Experience in 2016.
Didn't we just talk about that?
Yeah, I figured it's
ago?
a safe prediction.
That's
right.
Really safe. That's extremely safe. I mean, they've already put it in the release notes, so we already know it's going to happen, Brian.
It's mysterious.
It's not mysterious. It's actually quite easy to explain the source.
You cannot explain it. The cosmos has spoken to me.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm just going to start calling you Nostradamus from now on.
My second prediction is I believe all the product managers at Salesforce will all become shocked and over-electrocuted from working on Lightning too long.
That's terrible. That's not even... Brian, that... I can't handle puns of that magnitude.
I'm sorry. It just kind of flowed through me. It was kind of like I just plugged my creativity into the socket and it just came out.
All right, fine. I suppose I should do some predictions and stop you from saying things at all with your mouth. So, okay, I predict. Bear with me here. This might be a bit shocking.
Is that a bear with an A-R or an E-A? I'm just wondering, do I get to keep my clothes on?
So yes, just wow. Okay, how did you? Why is that even in your head? No.
You said
Okay.
bear with
no,
me.
stop.
I
No.
I
Can
was
we move on now?
confused.
Can I do my
Fine, move on.
predictions? Okay. All right. I predict that Salesforce will
Mm-hmm.
release a product that it will hype
Mhm.
and hype and hype and treat like a huge big thing, and only 2% of the orgs will actually be able to use it.
Wow. You did not just say that.
I look at previous years. Okay.
Okay.
Wave.
We'll have to
Thunder.
edit that out. We're gonna
No,
edit
we're
that
not.
out.
It's a valid prediction. It's something that Salesforce. Don't get me wrong. I love Salesforce. I do. And sometimes a lot of their products that they release, they do have this problem at first, and they get increased amounts of people using it, and it's fine. But that doesn't mean that at the start, like, there won't be like almost nobody using it.
How did you pick
They'll
that
spend-
2% number? How are you gonna quantify that?
That's my prediction. I pulled that out of the ether.
Okay. I'm not
Yeah.
sure it was the ether you pulled it out of.
Well, it's ethereal. It involves gaseous things.
Fine.
Yeah.
What's your second prediction?
My second prediction is that Salesforce will be purchased by Microsoft. Nope, wait, sorry, got that backwards. Salesforce will purchase Microsoft. That's it. That's my prediction.
I don't see that happening.
Nope, gonna happen. It's a thing. I've said.
Do you know the disparity of income between what Salesforce has and Microsoft?
But it's clearly not going to happen. Like, Microsoft is not going to purchase Salesforce. We've already established that. It's a thing that is not going to happen. So therefore, the opposite must be true, right? Isn't that how everything
I think
works?
Your logic is flawed on that.
Well, I mean, we are media, right? Isn't that how things work in the media? If it's not one thing, it's another. There's no room for gray or in between at all. Isn't that how things work in the media? Isn't it? Now it's time for our Salesforce video of the undetermined amount of time until the next one.
Keeping with the theme of today's episode, the video is I Wish You a Merry Trailhead from Peter, Neil, and Carl.
Peter, Neil, and Carl, who? Is that the band?
Carl's last name is Brundage, but I don't know what Peter and Neil's last names are because he didn't include it in the description of his YouTube video.
I think it's got to be the band name then. It's like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Peter, Paul, and Mary?
Peter, Paul, and Mary, yeah, except Peter, Neil, and Carl. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, though.
No.
Same way.
Carl, Peter, and Neil? Carl, Neil, Peter?
I'm going to go with Neil, Peter, and Carl because that could be shortened to NPC.
I like that. Very nerdy.
Yes. So what is this video, anyway?
Well, it's a parody of I Wish You a Merry Christmas, but instead it's I Wish You a Merry Trailhead.
Why did I not figure that out? What the
The
hell's the matter with me?
You haven't had enough Pepsi. It's my guess.
That's true.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to guess you probably finished everything that Jillian sent you and you've been starving yourself for caffeine.
Dude, that lasted like 2 days.
Oh, man. How are you not going to have diabetes? You suck. WizardCast is produced by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, directed by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, technical administration by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, script writing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, audio editing by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, website maintenance by Brian Kwong and Mark Ross, National Index for Beers Owed research by Brian Kwong, and our intern this episode was Abby.
Which Abby?
All the Abbies.
Whoa. Send us your interview suggestions, jokes, videos, tips, and feedback to wizardcast@thewizardnews.com or head over to thewizardnews.com and click Contact WizardCast.
Don't forget to subscribe to the WizardCast and receive our next episode automatically. Once again, I'm Brian.
And I'm Mark.
Thanks for listening. Knock, knock.
Brian, the episode is over.
Knock, knock.
No. No, Brian.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Murray.
Murray who?
Merry Christmas. See, it's not that difficult, Mark. my test coverage is frightful.
But the flow is so delightful.
And since there's one thing I know,
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. My developers are sleeping,
and my users, they are leaping.
but my Apex skills really blow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.
When it's finally activate time.
How I hope that my logic is strong.
But if you use a fault line,
I'll always know what went wrong.
The test coverage is falling,
And my devs, they are a-balling.
but we know just where to go.
Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. When it's finally activate time.
How I hope that my logic is strong.
But if you use a fault line,
I'll always know what went wrong.
the test coverage slowly falling.
And my devs, they are a-balling.
But we know just where to go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow.